Hit and damage. Ooh, we're doing fun stuff now. So let's go where our character is, and we got the core. We got gameplay, and we got our fantasy character, and we're going to create child blueprint class. And we're going to call it BP target dummy. And BP target dummy is going to just use a single animation, and is this bind pose. Okay, and he has no weapons, and we want to just put him here. And target dummy, it has also the it got statistics, it got everything like any other character, it got armor, because we want to test things on him. So let's say that he is 10, or even like, okay, 10, condition is 100, intelligence is 3, wisdom is 3, charisma is 3, so the minimum. And this is our target dummy, no weapons, he's just standing there doing nothing, and he can get hit, right? And we can even make him like a small pedestal and put him here. And let me wait, what? Oh, this. Okay, this is the end button. So here we got this guy. He's just waiting to get hit. Okay, we got this guy. Save it. And now we need to do actual hit detection and damage. So what we got so far is that we got this weapon, and we can use our stamina to swing, and we can hit stuff, right? We already see that we got those green ones, which means that we do multiple hits on our targets, and when I hit this guy, he will receive it as well. Okay, so now I want to actually do hit tests, and on those hit tests, I want to check armor and deal damage. So this is what we're doing now. So we can do it on multiple ways. We can code it into the combat component itself. We can code it into our singleton class, which is the fantasy character. So let's open fantasy combat, full blueprint, and let's also open our fantasy character. So on fantasy character, we are for sure going to do health, because we have health here, we have life here. So we want to do and say gameplay. On the gameplay, we want to get owner and to say does implement damage, does implement interface, damage interface. You know what? Let's not use the damage interface, because damage interface has an issue that it's going to go away in Unreal Engine 5. Unfortunately, I don't know why. It's a very solid method of dealing and receiving damage, and you can handle life yourself, but yeah, they want to make your life worse. So let's do it differently. Let's go and open our interfaces. Which one we should do? We got the weapon interface, we have the inventory interface, fantasy character interface, equipment interface, and ability. Let's go into character, where we got everything, and we have resources, and we got combat. So we can do this. We can do apply damage. Okay, and there's an input, which is the hit, which is a hit structure, because we want to apply damage in a very specific locations. So we want to have hit result, and then we want to say damage, which will be float. It will be in general integer, but we might want to do calculations and then round it up or down. So we're going to do calculations on float. I'm going to say damage type, and instead of using damage types, they're already built into engine, which are also going away, unfortunately, and they are really good objects that let you to store interfaces, values, and get a bunch of information about the damage. We're going to do gameplay tag, or even gameplay tag container. Can damage be multiple types? I mean, it can, because it can be, for example, fire, but it can be magical fire. It doesn't. Nah, our game will be much simpler than that. So a single tag is enough. Damage instigator. And we might want to have also damage causer. And this will be character. And damage causer will be an actor. Okay, it should be a pawn. Not a character, but a pawn is the instigator, and damage causer is an actor. And we can... no, we can't. We could do it pass by reference, by the way. No, we can do it on all of those. Nice. Okay, that should be enough. So this is apply damage, and any damage reduction will be concluded here in the fantasy character component. But we need also target, no, not target dummy. We need our core character, so the one from gameplay, fantasy character, and we need this guy to say, where's my interface? Okay, it's this one. This is combat, clearly. So we go here and say interface, combat, apply damage. Okay, it's called event apply damage, but it's actually damage receiving. So we want to apply damage to our fantasy character data. To this guy. And we just want to push all the information forward. Damage receiving. And now in the component, we need to do the same. So we don't need this binding to event. We need to just say apply damage event. Okay, and here we're going to just receive the damage. And this should already be concluded as critical hit or not critical hit. Everything that we need to conclude is already passed here. So this is direct damage. We want to say health, get health minus value, set health, and health can be a negative value. And now if health is below or equal 0, oh, and this obviously we want only to happen on the server, so so we can do authority switch, or we can say it's server. It's basically the same. So is server, then do this, and if it's below 0, then set alive 0, and then we want to do an event dispatcher called died, and we want to call it. So this is with event dispatcher, this is with event dispatcher. We can do stuff on it. So on replication health, we're calling health update. On the replication of alive, we're just, on rep alive, we can say died if alive is false, then we call that. Oh, we can do it like this, that's even better. We don't have to do it here. So we just see if we are below, and if we are, then we do this. And this also can be checked in the on replicated health. So when we do health, we want to see if health value is, we got a function for it, health max health percentage. Okay, and then we can set, so if it is less or equal, if it's true, then alive is false. Okay. So this, and we're just leaving with this. So handle receiving damage. So now we need to deal damage. So we got hit events from the combat component. The combat component is here, and we can handle those events basically anywhere. So we need to handle an attack hit event on start, on end. And usually I would tell you to handle it in the character class when I'm doing a tutorial. That would be a very fast and dirty way to do it. But we can handle it inside any other component. So we can handle it, for example, inside the fantasy component itself, the fantasy combat component. So we can say that function start bind. Okay. Can we just handle those? I can do assign, I can do create event with the on attack event signature. Yes, I can. Okay, I can do this as well and say event. And I can do this and say event. And I'm going to do a print string. And this will go and say start. And this one is going to say stop. And this one is going to say this one is going to say append. It's going to say hit, few spaces, and then we're going to split the hit event. We're going to take the hit actor, hit impact, hit actor, hit bone name. Okay, this is my internal variable. So I want to say this actor that I hit it, and I want display name. Okay. Okay, let's see if it works. So let's just save everything, save all, and let's hit play, and let's see if I can hit this guy. So I'm attacking, and I don't see any print strings. Am I testing on single player, just in case? Yes. So those are not being called. Interesting. Start attack, attack. If I do a bind and in play, and this will call the parent function, and then I will bind and custom event, and try start, print string, start. It's strange, like if I copy signature, it should be exactly the same. Start, start, start. It works. Start, start. Huh. Okay. So I guess I have to do it like this. I have to bind on start, bind on end event, and bind on hit. Annoying, but okay. Can I bind? Can I? Oh, okay. It's just like this. And I can't do. I mean, why? But yeah, okay. Try start custom event on attack ended. This would be called on attack started. I'm going to do this, this, and here I'm going to say custom event on attack hit, and I'm just going to say hit target. You know what? Yeah, let's do it like this. Hit target, and then break, and from here I can just take actor's name, display name, and I can hide unused. Okay, so I got this for now. Let's test it again. Start ended. Okay, start, and I got a bunch of hits. Okay, that's a lot. I hit this guy very much. Like, if I deal damage on every hit, then I will deal damage base almost on my frame rate. So the higher my frame rate, the more damage I will start dealing to stuff. And we don't want that. We want to have just a single hit. So let's go back here, and this is what we're going to do. When we start the attack, we want to collapse this node and just say attack start subgraph. So when we start, what we want to do, we want to do this string, and we want to say debug. And we actually even want to have a variable called debug, and by default it's going to be true. And here we're going to just push this variable here. Or you know what, we can even do it like this, and just like this, and we don't need this. Okay, we do this, and now we need a variable for targets. So targets, and targets is going to be a map, and we're going to have mesh is a primitive component. So this is exactly what our targets will be. It will be, oh no, it has to be an array inside a map. You know what, let's just do actor. We're not doing dual wielding weapons, so this will be enough for us. We can hit everyone only once in a single attack. Even if we have multiple weapons that we are tracking, we're still hitting only one target. So targets, and you know what we want to do? We want to clear the targets. Whatever targets we have hit already, we want to clear them. And in task end, we want to do exactly the same. So collapse node and say attack ended subgraph. Okay, paste, and just clear targets after this, and debug and debug. So now when we do this, we want to do a bunch of things. First of all, let's collapse node and say hit subgraph. I want to get mesh here as well. So we're doing first this print string, maybe. Oh no, this is the last print string. It's not going to be first thing we're doing. It will be one of the last things we're doing, because first we need to say, oh, we hit an actor. Is this actor already in the array? Has item. Wait, how do you do it? You say utility array. Contains item. Okay, so yeah. Does this array already contains this target? So if it is true, if it's already contained, we don't do nothing. Literally nothing. If we don't contain it, well, then we definitely want to immediately add unique, this hit actor. So now it contains, but we don't do this check anymore. So this is hit once check. And after that we do this hit once check, we can, well, for now just print string. And now we should have one print per attack per object that we hit. Let's see. Okay, hit floor and landscape. Hit target dummy. Hit target dummy. hit target, dummy, cube, and landscape. So that's exactly what we did. Okay, we got this. That's great. Oh wait, class defaults. Class defaults of the fantasy combat. Debug. Yes, we already got a debug. Huh. Okay. Yes. Can I access it? Yes, I can. Oh, I need another debug. That's nice. Let's swap it real fast. So if we debug the visuals, we debug the prints as well. Okay. So I already got this one. Class defaults, start and visibility. We want to trace complex 10.5 is enough. And okay, this is dynamic. Okay, so we now know that we can get single hits. So now we want to know a lot of more stuff. We want to actually be able to first calculate if we hit something and then if we dealt damage. So we're going to contain that inside functions. This one will say, did we hit target? Okay. It just has an entry and a return node for now. And what we want to do, we want to get owner. And we also need to have an input, which is the target. And the target is an actor. Okay. And we get owner. And we know that the owner is a character, because this is a character component, basically. So we can get attack. Get attack bonus, and this gives me melee and range attack. So this is first information I need to have, and this is for melee combat only, so we only care about the melee attack. And from the target we want to get armor, and we also want to say implement interface. So if this actor implements our data interface, so BI fantasy character data interface. Okay, let's save this as local variable and say attack value. And now we check if it implements interface, and if it doesn't, we want to a local variable say defense value. And it's definitely not an actor, and this is definitely not an array. And I want to just set it to 10. This is like the default defense value of just static objects. They don't get hit automatically, and they might have different value based on the size or something, but it is not 0, it's 10. And then for this character, if it does implement interface, if it's a character item or whatever it is, if it implements this interface and has statistics, we want to get his armor, and we want to get his armor unprepared. So now, if the rotation of whatever we are attacking, if he's facing generally back to us, we get the unprepared armor. If it is facing forward, we get armor. So how we do that? Quite easy. We get target dot product, and we want to just do the horizontal dot product. We don't care about his aim offset, and we are the other actor, right? And we get this dot product, and dot product goes from 1 to -1. Okay. Coincidental actors. Okay, so it goes from -1 to 1, basically. saying that 1, something is directly in front of you, -1, it's behind you. So if it is lower than 0, so just slightly behind you, we want to do one of two things. We want to set the fence value, and let's rename it armor value. So if it is true, so you are behind, you are taking unprepared, and if it is false, you're taking the armor. So now you have armor, and now you have attack values, right? And you have all 3 of them, like this. And once you set all those variables, we can start doing calculations. So what we do a roll d20, and we store it as local variable and say dice roll. And this dice roll is done from everything. So this is armor class. This actually goes here, and this is attack bonus. We probably should like if we're a character, we're doing this attack, we do have a component. If we don't have a component, it's strange. Then we probably failed something spectacularly if this owner doesn't implement the interface. We probably should check it, but I'm going to skip it. Attack d20 roll. Okay, so we're doing this d20 roll, and now we're taking attack value, and we are adding the dice roll, and we are checking if it is greater or equal the armor value. And if it is, then it is a hit. So we want to say hit successful, and this is pull. And instead of doing this branch, we can just do this set. So if those 2 values, we have a hit. Okay, and if it is a hit, only then we can also say if it was a crit. Okay, so to get critical hit, we need to know with what weapon we are attacking, right? So from our owner, and we can get it get owner, and we can just get weapon, get current weapon, right? You can do it after the attack roll, really. Doesn't matter in what order we do it. It will be easier this way. Get weapon, and we got the weapon reference. We want to get weapon stats. We could also implement this function inside the character himself and just always get the weapon stats, but let's keep it like this. We take stats, we got this damage, and I think we wrote a function that interprets text damage. So let's go into our function library. Calculate ability score bonus, no. Was it inside the the core weapon template? To text, get secondary stats. I'm pretty sure we did that once, because we got damage as text, which is this, and there is a common just number of those damage types, and they repeat themselves a lot. Did that somewhere? Current weapon. We didn't. We didn't? I was sure we did. Let's do it in the function library then. Let's do a function called damage text to number. Okay, and it has an input of just text. It's text. Damage text, and now we did somewhere like it was a switch on. We surely did that. Or maybe not. Yeah, I should hold it as string, not as text. And now I can switch. And we got like few common types. So we got 1d4, we got 2d6, we got 1d6, I guess, 1d8, we got a 1d10, and that's everything. We don't have more. So return node and return node going to have two outputs. One is damage, which is float, and one is rolls, which is integer array. And rolls dice rolls, and it's also an integer array. And we want to just add this roll. Oh wait, value, that's an integer, so we want to set this value, and then we want to add this value to rolls, and we want to do this, we want to convert that, and we want to push dice rolls. Okay, so this is rolling d4. Or maybe we did something with that in the fancy data characters. See, attack, interface, combat, get attack bonus, get armor, saving throws. Nope. Oh well, let's get back to it. So yeah, now we want to do roll d6, set as value with a sum. So we are doing, oh, you know what, can we do a sum? Don't tell me there's no array summing up. What? Oh my god. Okay, yeah. Let's do it like this. Value get sum plus and then set by reference. It's gonna be easier and shorter. So we get value and then we set by reference the sum. This is the first roll. Then you do add. It doesn't have to be unique. Okay, so we do it like this. We roll out the 6 and then we set it as a value, that is a temporary value storage, and we add it to our rolls. So we just did a roll, and then we are increasing the sum by reference. Okay. So I can do a for loop on index 0, 1 to make it faster, and on complete I do a return note and I say sum is the damage and this is the dice roll. Okay, here we're doing the same as here, except we're doing a roll d6 and again roll d8 and paste and roll d10, and there is no default. You know what? There is a default, and default is return 0 and empty. So we're going back to our combat. We get the weapon stats, and now we can, what did we call this function? This function is called data library damage text to number, and we do it combat utility damage text to number. Okay, let's go back here. Damage text to number, right? Okay, this is later. We can do this first. So this is if we get hit. We don't need to do this calculation if we don't get a hit. If we do get a hit, we need to check if it's a critical hit, for example. So we already got our dice roll. And we can say dice roll divided by no. So crit chance is, for example, 10%. So it will be 20 and 19. This is the numbers we are looking for. So if we divide the dice roll, let's do it like this. minus float. No. Okay, so 1 minus crit chance. So we have 90% of failure. So 10% is times float, which is 20. Okay. So 0.1, which is, so this is 0.9. So 0.9 times 20 is basically 18. And this is the max value in range. To it to not be a crit. Set. Not critical. Can we do it easier? No. I don't think so. It's not critical, so we go with this. Calculate critical, get weapon info, calculate critical, and we just have this critical. Now we have damage and rolls, and promote local variable, damage rolls. And this is damage, and this is always melee damage. So we now have to calculate the actual damage. Get owner, get stats, get ability score. We need strength, we need score, calculate score bonus. It's being added to the damage. So we go now here. We do this. No. We do this. We add this value. So this is the actual damage. Let's save it as a local variable as well and call it local variable. Yes. Local variable damage roll, and this will be it can be a float. It will be easier to already have it as float. So it goes here, and then it goes here, and then this goes here, and this goes here. Yeah. Okay. And it's already a giant spaghetti monster, but we need to do all this to have proper information that we want. And now we got strength, ability score, we added to the damage, and this is the final damage, and then we can do a local variable called final damage, and we can say float, and we can set and do select, and this is okay. Let's just set final damage, and now we can multiply it by select, and it depends on the crit. So if it's true, then multiply by 2, and if it's false, multiply by 1. And get weapon information should have also crit multiplication, because some weapons have different crits. Oh, let's if we add it, we're gonna have to update everything. So try not to forget about that. For example, spear and halberd, they should have crit damage times 3 instead of times 2. So I kind of screwed it up. Maybe I will fix it later. Let's add it to our bug list. Update weapons to have crit multiplication value. Okay. Okay, and now we can again set final damage. So we take final damage and then we multiply it by 1 or 2. So critical hit true is times 2. Okay, we got final damage, and now we can do the return node. And we're going to return a ton of information. So we'll do final damage score was crit. We're going to do was hit. So hit, crit, final damage, and we're going to also say dice rolls, which will be string. Oh, you know what? We're going to process this later, so it's going to be integer array. Let's just pass damage. We can also do damage bonus. In an actual game, this entire calculation would be way more complicated. And this is the damage bonus. Final damage score. Okay, and I actually overdid it a bit, as this is happening after we get a hit. Let's do it like this. We don't want to do everything in this. Was it a hit? Yeah, probably. So let's do another function. Let's say deal damage. We're going to go here. We're going to cut everything from here. So this is happening only when we already got a hit. We know we got a hit. So what we want to do is now get weapon info. We want to create local variable, create local variable. Let's just try to compile it and we'll get everything. Create local variable. Oh, so we can actually calculate crit here. In that, did we, okay, was hit, was crit, should be done here, because we need this information as input in the next function. Yeah, I know. Okay, so let's go back here. Got hit, and now deal damage, and we need to do this crit. So we still need to get this and do that part in the previous one. So we do this. And then we do this. And then we do this, and we say hit crit, and we don't need damage right now. Where did we do damage? Yeah, we don't need this. We only need this information. Let's do the minimum that we need. So damage rolls, damage roll, final damage. We don't need any of this. Dice roll, we don't need that as well. We can already do a print, and let's say that we had, and this will be dice roll, dice score, it's an integer, and then we have attack bonus. Oh, you know what? We don't need dice score for that. Attack bonus, it will be... Now let's do it. Dice score. And we want armor score. We did calculation of armor. We did calculation of armor. Okay. And we do attack, armor, dice roll. I want to do this. Okay, we got final info. We go back to this subgraph. I want to did hit target. And the target is the hit actor. And then we do this, and we do print text, and we do a really nice printout. And we're also going to do get debug on it. And this is what we're going to do for now only, and do the rest later on. So, format text, and the text will be long. It will say hit was hit success and crit and crit. Okay. Attack, and here will be bonus plus roll versus armor and here will be armor. Crit, bonus, roll, armor. What's with the roll? Okay. What did we show here? Hit target. Okay, we don't need this for sure now. And check for hits. And this guy, let's open him up. I need him to have dexterity. So I need him to be in... Oh, no. Fantasy character data. I need him to have dex of 12. So I need him to have 1 extra armor from dexterity. Okay. Attack. And let's test it. So I will attack, and let's see, attack 7 plus roll nothing. Oh, that's bad. It didn't display anything. Oh, yeah. Sorry. It also prints to console, so I can now check it. So hit was false, and crit also was false. Attack was 7 plus roll 1, which is 8 against armor 11. So I didn't hit. That makes sense. Okay, and now hit was true, but critical was false. The roll was only 10, and we get critical on 19 and 20. Attack was 7 plus 10, which is 17 versus 11. That also make a lot of sense. It will be easier to debug if I go here and I do class roll equals sum, and I just do this plus this and put it here. Okay, so let's just swing some attacks and let's see. Then can I accumulate more attack? Yeah. Okay. So let's see my debug. True, no crit, 7 plus 15, 22 versus 11, great. 7 plus 14 versus 11, great. 19 versus 11, 15 versus 11, awesome. Everything hit. Yeah, I have very small chance to not actually hit the target. So 19. Let's see if I got a critical hit anywhere. No such luck with the rolls. So I just need to continue hitting this guy. Okay, crit is true on 20. Crit is false on 18. So it should only trigger on 20 and 19. And yeah, everything works. Let's see if I can get him to less armor if I attack from behind. Let's do that. Let's try it again. Let's maybe go with the spear. Stab, 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 stab at different angles. We should have 10 armor only. Okay. Yeah, armor 10. I can see the printout. Armor 10, armor 10, armor 11. I'm a bit in front of him. So your rotation is very important. If you are back to someone, you will have a bad time, especially against rogues.